Now I'm going to be the saucier for the moment and take care of 2 sauces or condiments to serve with 2 of the courses. I've got the chicken terrine in the oven. Onion marmalade is to go with the chicken terrine. So I heat a saute pan. I've got a little butter and a little olive oil and 4 cups of onions. If you're going to make a condiment or a sauce, you might as well make a lot. This does keep in the refrigerator for up to 3 months. I'm just using good old cooking onions here because I'm going to draw out all the liquid and add flavor to them. I don't need to use a fancy Vidalia onion. You could use a red onion, more for the color than any sort of flavor adjustment. So the onions can take on a little color if they wish, but they don't have to. It's the tenderness I'm after. I want to cook out all the excess liquid, so all that's left is the essence of the onion. So while that's happening, I'll take care of the beginnings of the cucumber remoulade, which is the sauce that I'll pair with my shrimp and corn fritters. Traditionally, a remoulade is served with Cajun-style cooking. You see it served with crab cakes or any sort of fish cakes. But it's a punchy sauce. The first thing I want to do is grate my English cucumber. Here we go. I need about a cup's worth. I like to grate it because it starts drawing out the excess water, which is entirely what I need to do to it. With the cucumber, I want to let all the water drain out of it. So then what's left is a crunchy, yet intensely cucumber flavored. And while the cucumber will let off a fair bit of water, I can actually accelerate that by adding a touch of salt, because salt pulls out liquid. I also need to add a bit of sugar. And the cucumbers will stay crunchy, but they'll let out most of the water. Now I can just let that sit and do its work for a little while, and at the same time, to thicken up the yogurt, I'll drain the yogurt in a cheesecloth, about a cup. You have to use the full-fat variety. The low-fat won't drain properly. If I were to just stir yogurt and cucumbers together, both would let out a lot of water, and it would be a thin, unpalatable sauce. So I want to drain out any excess liquid. The onions have just got themselves going here, so they need a few minutes. But so does the cucumber and the yogurt. I'll just keep these in the fridge for about 30 minutes to let the liquid come off. Now, I'll just let that set, and I'll let the terrine cool completely to room temperature. Then I'll just wrap it and transport it in the loaf pan to take it to the winery and slice up there. Since the onions are ready, I can add the remaining ingredients. 3 cloves of garlic. So I'll grate in the garlic. And at the same time, add 1/3 cup of dark brown sugar. So I'm adding back liquid because the sugar will melt into the onions. And instantly, the sugar goes all shiny and melts into the onions. The last thing I need to add to the onion marmalade, 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. So it adds a nice color without taking the time to caramelize onions, because that takes about 40 minutes to properly caramelize an onion. So because I've softened and cooked the onions, their flavor is muted, but now I'm bringing it back up again with the brown sugar and the balsamic. I'll let that absorb and cook down a little bit. See, in that short time, so much liquid has come off both the yogurt and the cucumbers. And then look how much liquid comes out. And that's not worth saving. And just tip the yogurt out. And the cucumbers, a fair bit of that cucumber water has come out. And then just to make sure I have all the liquid out of the cucumbers, I'll give it a good squeeze. Oh yeah, there's more to come out. Look at all that water that comes out. And now I don't have to add additional salt because I've already salted the cucumbers. I am going to serve the marmalade with the terrine at the end, and the cucumber remoulade will go with the fritters in the middle because I'm going to start things off with the heirloom tomatoes. I will add some diced dill pickle and some diced capers. Capers add such a salty kick to a sauce. pickles, just a couple tablespoons worth. Okay, so I'll stir the pickle and the capers, a little spoonful of this. Ooh. This would make a great replacement even just for a plain old tartar sauce next to fish and chips or a piece of grilled or broiled fish. It's tangy and refreshing. Should be a fantastic complement to the shrimp and corn fritters. So I'll pack this in a deli container to take with me along with the terrine. And look at how glossy and shiny the onion marmalade has got. The onions are still juicy and fragrant. I know that'll be a hit with the terrine. And I'll serve this chilled as well. So I'll let this cool. And all I have left to do is make my shrimp and corn fritters. But then that leaves me with enough time to see Linda Craigo and her heirloom tomato farm.